trying to open this fun new toy. Are you sure there's a toy and not a coffin? Okay, let's get some scissors. I'll be right back. I knew it was something Star Trek. The motion picture. I have a feeling I know what this is. Here we go. Oh my gosh. I'm not strong enough for this. Okay. Now what I'm doing here. The box, aside from a piece of styrofoam or two, is obviously very black. Just a smooth matte black all across with stars on it. And the lettering is obviously shiny, holographic, almost iridescent. On this side, that is a really nice featured box. You know, we do love the featured boxes. On the other side, a clear picture of the ship. I mean, there's a picture of the ship in that black on both sides, but this one I feel like is a little easier to see. Very nice looking box. Very cool. Okay, back to opening this. The magazine, well, not the magazine, the instructions, which almost look like a magazine, they are done in that kind of manner. You'll see how in-depth they are. They look really neat. USS Enterprise refit instructions. The instructions are all in color, which is really nice, with pictures and words. A lot of times I can't even understand what the instructions are saying and things. And if there's anything like the other one we have, there's not a lot to the instructions, but that's okay. It's nice to have really nice, clear instructions. Let's see. I'm going to just start right there. Here it is. I take an overview. Look at how shiny and iridescent that looks. That is definitely different than our other one. Look at that. It's, you see pinks and purples and yellows and blues in the color, even though it's a white base. That's so pretty. Okay. This is the stand right over here, which is very heavy. Mode select and fire control. Let's try and take this baby out of here. Oh, it's going to be really heavy. Extremely heavy. Okay, take the box away, please.
I think there is some things in here for the stand to put it on.
Okay. So we took the stand out directly from the box, and these are inside the box. When you after you take the ship out, there is a piece of styrofoam in the center that you remove, and these are underneath. And you insert them, according to the instructions, right into there's 2 holes in the stand. Now, I will say that it is made very simple for people who don't want to read the instructions. These only fit in one way. You can't put them in the wrong way. And they only fit in one direction. You can't put them in the wrong direction. Then you are able to place your ship on the stand. Let's see if we can do this. This is really, really heavy. Okay, here we go. And, oh, got it on. All right, it's on. My arms are really tired. And I'm sorry if that was really loud. Okay, here we are, NCC-1701 Enterprise. In that little area where the stand parts were in, there are some other parts here. So we're going to see what we can do with those. Also in this instruction booklet bag, there's a very small clear piece with a sharp tip. I don't know if that's useful or not. Maybe that's the tool they were talking about. I don't know. our certificate of authenticity in 4 different languages. So here's your certificate of authenticity, printed on a nice paper, and you get 4 copies in different languages. Okay, so we're going to start with the obvious that I said. It is very heavy. This part is all die-cast metal. This section is die-cast metal. These are not. They are plastic. But a lot of detail on the entire thing. So this goes on the back here. There is space here. Oh, yeah, it even looks like a cute little door. Here we go. Okay. These are shaped very specifically so they can only go in one way, so you don't fit them on wrong. Same with all of these little parts. And 5 docking rings. Installing the stand, I did realize there were 2 parts I missed, which are just these nice little, which are important, nice little plastic clear pieces. And they're important just because you don't want to scratch your ship settling it down on these metal pieces like I did. It didn't scratch though, but I did settle it on them without it. So now I'm going to put her back on her stand, and we will get to the accessories and the extra ship. Okay, so it comes with the smaller part, which we can put on a stand. Again, the pieces all fit only in one direction, and then Sarek's ship, his little shuttle part of it, which also fits on here above. Now this is how you can put it on display, or you can take just his little shuttle off the top and connect it to the USS Enterprise. Now it seems to me to barely connect. It just kind of sits there more than connects, but maybe that's me again, I don't know. But if you're not moving it, if it's just on display, it's not going to hurt anything anyways. So 2 different ways to display that. I like our back door here. That looks really nice. All right, and that is all the pieces. So let's get to the best part. There are also other locations for the shuttle to dock at. You will see them as these little circles on the ship. Though some not so easy as others. That one I don't think it stays in, but this one it does. And there is that pretty iridescent coloring that you get on it. Look at that. So, one of the main things with this, as fancy as it is that it needs a USB-C cord, and it needs to be plugged into, obviously, a power breaker outlet of some sort. And it's a little more specific with its volts and amperage of what you're plugging it into, and it does not come with one, which, if you're going to be specific about that, it would be nicer to have something. But I think a lot of them are adjustable nowadays. So here is the USB port. Back on the back, black part, which we are plugging in. So to have lights and sounds, it has to be on its stand, plugged in. There are 2 buttons, which I'm going to turn the ship around. And one is the power button, basically. You don't actually have to push. It's not really a button, it's a touch. Just a touch. And there is the lights. It has lights all around the edge, like the Enterprise should. At the top docking bay. Lights in the windows. 2 different colors.
I would say pop that door off.
Oh, okay. Can I pop the door off? I don't know. The sharp tool that comes in the bag is just a clear one of these pieces of plastic, like it looks like it should be for display, and it does show that it is used to pry the back door off. Well, that was super simple and easy. Very nice. So now you can have the back open if you'd like. So very glad for that little tool. And I'm gonna put this back on. And we're gonna go see what else this baby can do. They're definitely blinking lights now. And here is, you just press through and you should cycle through. I'm still on the blinking when you cycle through, and you get some other light settings. Look at that. That glowing blue looks really cool. I do like that. The lights, we've got beautiful lights up top. Light here, if you want to come around to the front here. Let's see. These light options are the salvo fire or the photon torpedoes, whichever ones you would like to set it at. And it is display. The lights are really, I mean, they bring it to life, honestly. I do wish it had sound. That would definitely make it more fun. But this is just amazing, the details. I'm going to get some of these details over here. I mean, these are awesome looking. The lights on top even, going all the way down to the little tips. And the display looks actually really nice. We are going to take a break, and I'm going to go get the other one for comparison. And we're back with the original. So this is the original TV series Enterprise, and this is from the first movie, obviously. Some major differences. We're going to start with the base. The base here is not required to have the lights on. The lights base here is required to power the ship. It does give you a more permanent display though mode, because you can plug it in via USB and have that running for a longer term on display, where the original Enterprise is batteries, so you don't get that display function to last as well. This base is obviously huge. It's cool looking because it's the emblem, Starfleet emblem, but a little dusty here, but it is really large. It comes apart in 2 pieces, which I'm not going to separate right now, but for display, it takes up a lot of space. It looks cooler, but it takes up a lot of space. So goods and bads for both of them. Obviously, this one is definitely a fancier display to show off your ship. This ship, the disc is obviously a lot larger. This one has lights also. The buttons are hidden right here. Instead of being in the display, they're on the ship and part of the ship, but hidden into the ship. So we have the yellow button on top. Then we also have the other button hidden back here, which is hidden right there. And this turns on the motors, which do make a sound. Is that official sound supposed to be there? That's debatable. The back nacelles do not light up, which was a bit of a disappointment, but this lights up. We've got a beautiful light system here. There was a small amount of assembly required on the front here. You had to put this little piece down there on. And again, you have a lot of different lights showing. So if you can just turn off the motors and just have the lights on, or you can have, and they're still flashing, but then the motors themselves aren't running, which is really nice for display. Or you can have them off, you can have the top lights on, obviously, or off. So lighted, definitely both are lit up well. This one has, I mean, it's hard to see. These are lit. It's just kind of hard to see in our bright light. So they're both lit really well and really neat. It's kind of just which you prefer. The saucer also comes off and detaches on the original, which is why there are two parts to the stand, but I am not going to take it off for this video because it's a lot of work. These are pretty heavy duty material. They're still metal feeling. The whole entire thing feels like it's metal. So you don't have the plastic on the sides like the other one does. Obviously there's still plastic pieces on it, but the main part is not. A very nice matte paint job. Okay, as opposed to a very iridescent paint job. Obviously noticeably larger. So whichever you prefer, and then obviously it comes with the extra ships. And we're going to turn those other lights on because we want it in its full glory. If we're going to compare them, we have to have the full glory. So, which one is better is really up to you. Oh, look at them in the dark. It's really up to you. Which ship you like? Which did you prefer? I mean, the show is classic, the movie's classic. Is there one that you think is better than the other? They each have great things about them, and they each have things that could use a little work. I personally don't know how you could just have one of the two. I think you need them both. Oh, look at. I just saw this nice little feature where they have specifically lit up the ship's number and name. So, well, I guess it's not technically the name, but it's number, which really looks cool. That just looks awesome that they were able to do that. Very nice. Both of them display well. I like them. I mean, I like them both. I am a little more fan of the TV show personally. If I had to pick one of only having one of the two, I'd pick that one first, but I think they're both great. Okay, when you take the back doors off of the backs, it does have a really nice, they actually made it look like, I don't know if I can get this clear, but they did make it actually look like a docking station inside, which is awesome. Now this is the original one, but they did the same thing with the new version, the refit. And the old original from the TV series came with little shuttles that could go in there. This one doesn't because it comes with Spock's father's ship. So there is that. But they both have a nice removable door. And then up here we also have, it's lit up in there, and you also have a little bit of a diorama in there, which is pretty cool. So if you want some details, that's neat to look at. These lights here are for the impulse lights, and as I mentioned, you can make the nacelles go blue, and we're going to try and do that by hitting this button back here. Dun dun dun. All right, and now in this mode there is a secret lighting mode where you hit the same button that you used to turn it blue 3 times quickly, which will turn the lights purple in the nacelles for warp speed. So another feature, fancy feature, that's a hidden, supposedly hidden secret. I'm sure they tell you on their videos when they're discussing the ship, but they don't mention it in the instructions at all. So something good to know if you're buying the ship. Yeah. Definitely a lot of detail. They do really well with their models. I'm always impressed with their models. I can't complain because there's just so much fun, neat details, and they're really well quality made, which is unfortunately for some model toy makers that they just don't put that effort into the quality. Occasionally, there's definitely dust. There's definitely space dust. Aging, little aging space dust. It's very uniform though.
Why can't you give noise? Why can't you give sounds to these? That's what everybody wants. Just put a little chip in there, charge an extra $50. People are buying them anyway. And have the phaser shots.
Yeah. And yeah. They're really both really nice.